Good morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 138. Please subscribe. It is decision day. But it's an easy decision because there's only one thing to decide upon, and that decision is heaven. Heaven is the decision I must make. And it says make because we believe we are in a world that is not heaven. We believe we are not part of creation. Heaven is part of creation, and because heaven is part of creation, there is no opposite to it. But if we believe we are in a world of duality, because this world, this ego world, is a world of duality, if we believe this is our home, then we are used to having things to choose between. That's what this world, ego world, is all about. In this world, heaven is a choice because here we believe there are alternatives to choose between. We think that all things have an opposite, and what we want, we choose. If heaven exists, there must be hell as well, for contradiction is the way we make what we perceive and what we think is real. But creation knows no opposite, and heaven is part of creation, as love is part of creation. Opposition makes the truth unwelcome, and it cannot come. So we need no opposition, and in truth there is no opposition to creation. In this world it is all about opposition. Choice is the obvious escape from what appears as opposites. Decision lets one of conflicting goals become the aim of effort and expenditure of time. That's how we spend time, by deciding. Decide for this, decide for that. Without decision, time is but a waste and effort dissipated. It is spent for nothing in return, and time goes by without results. There is no sense of gain, for nothing is accomplished, nothing learned. So right now, the only good use of time is for us to decide that we no longer need time, and we are going to go into the timeless state, the space where we belong. We are going to decide for heaven, and we're going to do that today. We need to be reminded that we think there's 1,000 choices confronting us when there is really only one to make, and even this but seems to be a choice because, as I said, it's already been decided. Do not confuse yourself with all the doubts and myriad decisions would induce. We think there's so many things to choose between. It is much easier if we realize there's only one choice. As the quote in chapter 14, that when we've learned to decide with God, all decisions become as easy as breathing. This is how we are going to decide today. And when that one decision is made to decide with God, to be with God, you will perceive it was no choice at all. Because, and here's that line we've had several times now, truth is true and nothing else is true. There is no opposite to choose instead. There are no contradictions to the truth. Truth is part of creation, no opposite. Heaven, part of creation, no opposite. Love, part of creation, no opposite. Choosing depends on learning, and truth cannot be learned but only recognized. So again, the line that we had the other day about the truth will dawn upon us. We don't learn the truth, we recognize the truth. And in the recognition its acceptance lies. And as it is accepted, it is known. As I accept it, as it dawns within my mind, now I understand the truth, I understand what is real, and I go, yes, yes, that is the decision, that is heaven, that is where I belong. Now I understand, the truth has dawned upon my mind. Ours are teaching goals. Knowledge is beyond the goal we seek to teach, because knowledge is of God, and we are not there yet. To teach the framework of this course. Ours are teaching goals to be attained through learning how to reach them, what they are, what they offer you. Decisions are the outcome of your learning, for they rest on what you have accepted as the truth of what you are and what your needs must be. This line refers easily to lesson 133 we just had, I will not value what is valueless, and where we were given the criteria for making a decision, something that will last. Heaven will last. Something that is shared and equal for all. Heaven is shared, equal for all. Choose wisely. Choosing heaven is certainly a wise choice, and something that will not instill guilt. There is no guilt in heaven. There is no guilt in the choice of choosing heaven, because we are choosing for everyone. In this insanely complicated world, heaven appears to take the form of choice rather than merely being what it is. Of all the choices you have tried to make, this is the simplest, most definitive, and prototype for all the rest. The one which settles all decisions. When we have decided for God, for heaven, every other decision will simply unfold for us and will be resolved. So we begin today considering the choice that time was made to help us make. Such is its holy purpose. So everything, as I said the other day, that is given over to the Holy Spirit can be used for the Holy Spirit's purpose. Time has been given over to the Holy Spirit, so now it has a holy purpose, which is for us to use it for decisions. Its holy purpose now transformed from the intent you gave it, that it is a means for demonstrating hell is real, hope changes to despair, and life itself must in the end be overcome by death. In death alone are opposites resolved, for ending opposition is to die. We think that we have to die in order to get to salvation. Death certainly is the end of all opposition, but so is choosing heaven. As we choose heaven, all opposition falls away, because there is no opposite to heaven, no opposite to truth, no opposite to love. It is all encompassing, and it is freedom for us. It is salvation. To resolve conflict is to end your life as well. That is the belief in the ego, mad, insane mind. These mad beliefs can gain unconscious hold of great intensity and grip the mind with terror and anxiety so strong that it will not relinquish its ideas about its own protection. It must be saved from salvation, threatened to be safe, and magically armored against truth. And these decisions are made unaware to keep them safely undisturbed, apart from question and from reason and from doubt. Lesson 20, way back. I'm determined to see. And in that lesson, we were told that do not misconstrue this idea to be an exertion of force or pressure. We want salvation. We want to be happy. We want peace. We do not have it now because our mind is totally undisciplined, and we cannot distinguish between joy and sorrow, pleasure and pain, love and fear. That is the condition of the mind, the untrained mind, the not sustainable mind, the ego mind. So we're making a decision that is a conscious decision, and it is the decision for heaven. Heaven is chosen consciously. The choice cannot be made until our alternatives are accurately seen and understood and fall away, because we understand that we will not value what is valueless, and everything else that we've been given has no value. We choose what is valuable. We choose heaven today. The conscious choice of heaven is as sure as is the ending of the fear of hell when it is raised from its protective shield of unawareness and is brought to light. When the darkness is brought to light, the light doesn't go to the darkness. We must bring the dark to light, but it's done with that conscious decision of heaven. Who can decide between the clearly seen and the unrecognized? Yet who can fail to make a choice between alternatives when only one is seen as valuable, the other wholly a worthless thing, a but imagined source of guilt and pain? That is everything that is being offered from the ego mind. Who hesitates to make a choice like this? And shall we hesitate to choose today? No, we choose today. We choose for heaven. Our practicing, we make the choice for heaven as we awake and spend 5 minutes making sure that we have made the one decision that is sane. It's not only a good decision, it's a sane decision. We are choosing for our own sanity. And what we're the choice between what has existence and what has nothing but an appearance of the truth. So now all of those things that we have had in our mind, they hold no terror now, for what was made enormous, vengeful, pitiless with hate, demands obscurity for fear to be invested there. Now it's recognized as but a foolish, trivial mistake, not a sin, just a mistake, simply an error. And then before we go to sleep tonight, we again reaffirm our choice that we have made today, our conscious choice for heaven, and also for 5 minutes of every hour of the day as we are awake, we spend some time consciously making, remaking, reaffirming our decision for heaven. As every hour passed, we have declared our choice again in a brief, quiet time devoted to maintaining sanity. And finally, we close the day with this, acknowledging we choose but what we want. Heaven is the decision I must make. I make it now and will not change my mind because it's the only thing I want. I choose heaven. I want heaven. It is a good day to make a good decision. And that's it for now, and I hope it helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment. Oh, please smile at your decision. Take in a deep breath and release everything that is not in agreement with it. And let us all pray that every mind will decide the same thing today. Let us decide for heaven. It's the decision we must make. Namaste.